Alright, so let's get started. I guess let's go. Oh, throwbacks up for grabs. Finish top 3 in Player Royale this week and win a throwback jersey of your choice? Let's go. Alright, boys, we fucking out here. So this is the team I'm rolling with. Alright, man, let's fucking go, son. So let's take a quick look at, I guess, matchup by matchup. And as we go through the matchups, we'll take a reflection on my lineup for this week. We got the Atlas and the Whips. Atlas just recently lost one, and the Whips have won 3 in a row. They're going 8. They're going 4, 8, and 1, I believe. They won earlier this year. They won last year, but then they lost. I don't know, and then they won the year before that. I don't know what the 2019 score was, but that team was just way too different to even care about what the outcome was. Team-wise, definitely a lean towards the Whips, but the attack and the face-offs, possibly some of the most important positions in the sport, I lean towards the Atlas. So it's really anyone's game, but I have that feeling that with the midfield, the defenseman, and the goalie, the Whipsnakes are going to be able to hold the ball on the offensive side long enough, control the pace of the game, and be able to keep this at a low-scoring game where their defense and goaltending can really stand out and do what they do best and win fucking games. So on one side, you have the T-Law Gray offensive side of it. T never really performed that great against them. Law had a hat trick last year, and Gray earlier this year had 3 points. I don't love any of them. They're all going to be pretty much ones, and I don't really love any of them. Costabile had a hat trick last year. Not really the same. I don't want to say he's not the same player this year, but he's just a different feel of player this year. Still getting plenty of shots, though. Leads the team with shots. Bucaro, not a huge fan of playing him. You have Craig Chick, Cade Van Raphorst defensively. Yeah, you could roll with them, but they're going to cost you a 1, and I'm just really not feeling it for this matchup at least. T-Bab, it's going to be tough. He went 63 this year, 46 last year, and 25% the year before that. So he definitely struggles against Nardella, but I wouldn't say that I would not start him, but I like some other options. On the other side, you have that Rambo, Zeddy, and Carlson. Zed Williams did not play earlier this year. He's been either boom or bust against this team, but that team that he did really well against isn't the same team that they are now. Same thing with Rambo, but he's been gaining some speed. Carlson, pretty consistent against this team. Midfield-wise, Smith, Chaney, Gutterding. Yeah, you could throw a 1 towards Gutterding, but I like other players. Chaney as well, but Chaney has been kind of hit or miss in my opinion. But fantastic player, obviously, but kind of hit or miss. And then Earnhardt, Squires. Those are the 2 defensive guys who I think may be worth it. Earnhardt definitely looking like he could do it. He's been putting up points. Squires, not really great. He usually averages like that 1-2 cost turnover ground ball, but hasn't really been doing that against this team in particular. Fantastic offense. He's a younger guy. It's bound to happen. So here we have the Nardella Burnlore. Both do pretty well against this team. I like Burnlore. He is the hot hand right now. He's continued to play well. He went 72% against this team earlier in the year. They haven't been particularly. They're not like, I don't watch them and see them and say, oh, this is a team that is going to play their game no matter what kind of game you give them. They've I think that's the Whipsnakes. So I'm going to stick with Burnlore. I like him for this matchup. He's been pretty consistent. And I have no hypothetical bets for this game. I didn't really care for anything. Next, we have the Dogs in the Woods. So here I think the attack is just about even. I have to give my respect to McCardle, Sowers, and Walker. They've been fantastic, but on the other side, I think Pennell, Garnsey, and Cav have been doing their thing just as well. The midfielders, at least recently, I definitely got to lean towards the Dogs. That's Conor Kelly and Zach Courier. Those are my fucking dudes. Defense, I like the Woods. just an overall defense. In terms of fantasy, I probably like the Dogs a bit more, but just in terms of fantasy, I stick with the Woods. Goalie, it's obviously Dylan Ward, and then face-off wise, it's obviously T.D. Erlin. So they had a preseason game this year, whatever, I'm not taking too much from it. And then the Woods in the Woods against the Dogs. The Woods have never lost for the Dogs. McArdle here, 16 points in his last 3, 5 points last year, 0 points in 2020. But he's been averaging that 3.5 in this recent going. So I'm definitely liking McArdle, but just looking at it like Lyle Thompson, how are you gonna say no? But damn, 16 points in the last 3, that's fucking good. Let's take a quick look, man. McArdle, yeah, he's got to be a 1, and that's tough. So we have 16, damn, 38 and 20. That's fucking crazy. And this is gonna be a high scoring game. This almost makes me think twice about playing Lyle Thompson. But we're gonna keep going through it, I'm never totally set till the fucking ball is I guess not dropped, but clamped. Till the ball's clamped. Sowers, 8 points in his last 2, but he's never played the Woods. So I'm not too sure what I expect out of him. He's going to have a tough matchup against Garrett Epple. Walker, 2 points in 2020. Just not really loving that matchup. Not really loving that play. Then we have Conor Kelly. Conor Kelly is my fucking go-to. I think this is it. 8 points in 2021. That's crazy. 3 points in 2020. He's been one of the best players midfield-wise of the entire fucking whole league. I mean, he is absolutely electric right now, and I think that there's no way that you can't play him against the Woods. I don't understand how you could not. Zach Currier had 7.7 ground balls last year and had 2 points and 3 ground balls in 2020. So that's it, man. Like it's either Kelly or Currier. It depends on what you like. They're both ones. They're both gonna do it for you. I'm sticking with Kelly just because Currier has a bit of a dip this year than last year, but I'm really feeling this Kelly play. Defensively, you have Reese and Burns. I think they both are gonna cost you a little too much, especially if you're spending your 1s and 2s, where I like to spend my 1s and 2s. And then Dylan Ward, 37% against this team. I'm just really not feeling it in terms of, it's not that I don't believe in him and what he can do. It's just, this will be a high-scoring game no matter what. On the other side, Rob Pennell has really been finding his game. 16 points in his last 4 points last year, and 2 in 2020. I can't imagine him not putting up a decent amount of points. Ryder Garnsey had 4 goals last year in 21 and 4 points in 2020. Jones, 4 assists in 21, 4 points in 2020. Henneberg, is he in? He had 4 points last year. Bertrand, 8 points in his last 3. Apple hasn't been particularly good against this team. T.D. Erlin, 73%, 16 ground balls. I mean, these are all playable guys. I'm just really not feeling it because I'm not sure how Dylan Ward is going to do. But either way, I'm really liking this over because both teams have been scoring goals to win games. So I think it has to go over the 24.5. I think it's a race to who scores 15 first. Then we have the Chaos and Archers. This is the game that I'm not really sure too much what to make of it. Archers won last year. Archers won this year. Chaos won the last 2 years. I'm leaning the Archers. Attack, midfield, defense. Chaos obviously have the better goalie. Face off, roughly even, maybe a bit of a lean towards the Chaos. Byrne did not play in week 2, but he's put up 1, 3, and 5 all in the last previous seasons. Cloutier did not play in week 2. Daner did not play in week 2, but they've all put up a pretty low amount of points against this team historically. Mac O'Keefe put up 3 points his last outing, but again, nothing too crazy in those last few matchups. Ryan Smith has been doing pretty well, but he's only had that 1 5-goal game in week 7, but he had 0 in week 8. Really hasn't done too much other than that one game in particular. And then Troy Ray, he's got 1 crossover, 4 ground balls, 3 and 5, 0 and 2. So he might be a half decent play, but he's a little expensive in my opinion. Costabile, CJ that is, had 5 points in week 2 against this team, but besides that, he's been a really hit or miss player. We had Newman had his first good game last week. Same thing with Jack Rowlett. TK 56% in week 2. Blaze Reardon 40%, 17 saves, scores against. 10 saves, and then previously 64 and 57%. I'm sorry. So he overall, I like Newman here. I like them being able to turn it around. While the Archers are not particularly known as a turnover heavy team, their best players are chronically turn over the ball. That is Will Manny and Tom Schreiber. They're both top 5 in turnovers right now. So, like I said, Manny 5 goals, 0 points. He's gonna get his, but he's gonna turn the ball over doing it. That's why I'm like, you know what? If I'm spending a 3 on a defenseman, I like Jared Newman here. Or you could go Jack Rowlett. It really depends on that matchup. I'm not sure who's gonna be up against who. Whoever's playing Manny, I don't know. I guess it depends. Probably not gonna. It's not gonna be too set. I'm sure it's gonna be somewhat fluid. Holman has been kind of hit or miss. 2 goals, 2 points, 6 points. Ament did not play early this year. Had 6 points, 2 points, 8 points in his last 3 games. Nothing too stellar. I don't know what he is right now in terms of fantasy wise. It's looking like he is a. It's looking like he is a. I don't even see him. It's looking like he's a 2. If you're gonna spend, I wouldn't spend a 2 on Ament. I just personally, I probably wouldn't do that. Not against this goalie. Schreiber 4 points, 3 points, 1 points. Matt Moore had 4 points against them, but who has cooled off pretty heavily since that game. And then Hasek, Ratliff, McMahon, none of them really stick out all too much. Each of them had their 1 or 2 good games against this team. Hasek, 5 ground balls. Another game with 3 caused turnovers, 3 ground balls. Ratliff with a 4 ground ball game and 1 point. And then McMahon had a game where he had 2 caused turnovers, 2 ground balls. So here it's kind of like a bit of a Russian roulette with them. They're all pretty highly ranked. And their face-off and goalies, I don't know who the fuck's going to go in. Here, I'm just really liking that Chaos money line at plus 140. I want to say this is our last game, the Cannons Chrome. So this is where we get into it. So the attack, you have Lyle Thompson. And then everything else is basically the Chrome. Chrome earlier this year won in overtime. Last year, they won 13-10. And Lyle has been red fucking hot. 5 points, 18 in his last 3 points last year. You just ride him till he's done. Asher Nolting had 6 points earlier this year. That was the best game. He hasn't broken 3 otherwise. So I really am not feeling that all too much. I still do like Lyle, obviously. Cockerton had 5 goals in the last 2 games ever since joining. I wouldn't ride with him in this game if you're looking for a budget kind of player. But I would say for future matchups, it's looking pretty good for him. It seems like he's fitting pretty well in this roster. We have Drenner and Rafis as the midfielders. He's had 1 point and 0 points, cooling off, but usually once he cools off like this, he's had a pretty good bounce back. I believe that he was doing kind of slow and then hit up like a pretty heavy 4-point game, went 2 points, 1 point, 0 point, 4 points, and he's kind of on the same track right now. Rafis 0 points, 6 points in his last 3, so nothing too crazy. I would definitely ride with somebody else. Pulver and Garland in terms of your deep and Kintley, whatever the fuck. None of them really sticking out all too much. And Morocco 57% and 62%. I think he's a 3 if I'm not mistaken. No, he's a 2. And to me, I just like Burnlor a lot more. Because with Nick Churn and Malloy, they can all fucking do pretty well. Malloy's really either had 1 point or 4 points. Nick Churn's had 5 points last with this game. It's his only game. Let's try to read this. Only 2 goals or more or less. I don't fucking know. And then Wisniewski has 1 point. He's kind of been hit or miss in the season, but obviously when he hits, he's fucking on. Midfield-wise, Anderson, McIntosh, 3 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. So, it is what it is. They're kind of both hit or miss. Anderson, definitely hit or miss. McIntosh has never broken 3 points since 2021 when he hit 4 about midway through that season. Nick Grill, a big fat 0. Salama with 5 ground balls and 2 points, so maybe he's someone to look at. Manley, Giles Harris, Bernhardt, they're all kind of that Manley and Harris are definitely two guys who don't miss all too often. Giles Harris has been pretty much averaging about a close turnover per game. Manley has very few misses this season. Bernhardt's a solid 3. Farrell, I like this. He's got 64 and then 58 versus Kelly the year before. And Sean Saccone, 54% last time they met. I'm really liking the under for this game, minus 105. So I know, you're taking Lyle, but you're going with the under. Yeah, fucking suck me. So let's go with this. Let's make this full screen. So here we have Lyle, we have Conor Kelly, we have Jared Newman, we have Connor Farrell, and we have Kyle Bernlohr. Lyle, hot hand. I'm not taking him out. Conor Kelly, one of the best scorers so far this season, playing against a team that historically this season has to score a lot of fucking goals and will give up a lot of goals, and just absolutely brutal goaltending. Jared Newman had his first good game. He's going up against two guys who are top of the league in turnovers. Connor Farrell just going up against Stephen Kelly. He's historically done pretty well. He's been a good job of just being able to overpower and win those face-offs. And then we have Kyle Bernlohr. Hot hand going up against a team that he did really well against earlier this year already. Went going 72%. To me, that all seems well and good. So what I like here, Whip Snakes over the Atlas, Water Dogs over the Redwoods, Archers over the Chaos, and Chrome over the Cannons. Whip Snakes just keep rolling. Water Dogs, I think, just match up better against the Redwoods, and they're hot as well. Archers, I think, make it. I think that's a tough game for me to predict, honestly. And then the Cannons, Chrome, do I really need to say too much more? Chrome have not given me a reason to think that they can't just roll over the Cannons. And I think that's about it. Excited for this shit to fucking roll, man. We have this week, next week, and then the playoffs start, and we'll see what happens after that. So, hopefully I win this fucking jersey, boys. You know what I mean? How you doing?